Howdy ho there, fellow Talon owners. We're working on a 2021 X4, and what we're going to do is put on rear mud flaps by Kemimoto. I'll put an Amazon link in the description. Let me show you what we got going, and again, welcome back to the channel. Here we go. So the last ride I had hit some wet grass, not even mud. Sprayed on my turn signals, and this was a halfway clean machine. It got sprayed everywhere pretty much, which kind of surprised me somewhat. And so I ordered the full kit, Kemimoto. And so here we go. We got 4 1/2-inch aluminum spacer, 5/8, 4, 7/8, 4. We got 8 of the speed clip nuts, whole bunch of plastic push nuts. We got 4/40s of millimeter length on the bolts. Then we have 8 of 30. Then we have 6 of 25. And these are 20s. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like a dozen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dozen of those. Whole bunch of washers. We have a 4 small angle brackets and 2 large. So what they say to do is start assembling by pulling the rivet out above here to get your alignment started, and then at some point you'll drill 3 holes in that lip with spacers and appropriate screws. Then you're going to put take these 3 out, and you're going to put in the brackets on those with nuts and bolts. So let me get some of this started. I think it's going to be easier to get the brackets in place before we go any further and get stuff in our way. Okay, I did the 220s millimeter screws with the small brackets as shown. These are in the lower 2 holes, both sides. I'm going to use a bigger bracket up at this last hole. You're supposed to put it in between this plastic here because it's kind of got a gap to it. So we're going to do that next. So if you're not mechanically inclined, I recommend putting these are stamp washers. So one has a sharper edge, one has a smooth edge. I like to put the smooth edge outwards, where you would maybe brush up against it or wash it with a sponge or whatever. And I put the sharp edge towards the plastic where it touches. And I think it makes a better finish appearance as well, make them all the same. And here again is the large bracket, whether they call for a 25 millimeter, and put the bracket in between the plastic pieces. And of course, here's all my washers with the smooth side outward and outward. So at this point, push the fender flare up into position and put the one rearward push pin in place. Now we're going to start the screws on the 3 brackets in the front. What I did, decided to make these 3 screws with the brackets tight. And that way, because once you put this plastic in place, it's going to be more difficult to get a hold of the lock nut to hold it on the other side. Now, by making this tight, I'll show you on the other side, you want these to be parallel and even with the lip. You don't want them cocked. You want them as even as you can with this lip when you tighten it down, and then you'll be good to go. There's not much adjustment in these because just one round hole going through the rivet hole that was originally there. So, all right, we're going to continue working on the other side. I'll show you. Again, we're using the shorty 20 millimeter screws. There's 4 of them with a washer, and I had the smooth side of the washer outward. Next. Well, this is pretty much in place, so now I need to drill my holes for the 3 that go across the top, and then spacers and so forth. But I wanted to make sure everything was indexed so I can use these other holes as the template. And there's plenty of room to get a spacer under here when you're done. So I got that one in with a 7/8 spacer. This one, I have plenty of room for the 7/8. This last one will be a little tight, but I'd like to get as many in as possible so that I can get this thing lined up like it should be. This is going to be a 7/8 40 millimeter spacer, bolt, 40 millimeter bolt, and a 7/8 spacer here. This one gets 5/8, and I'll have to check the bolt size here in a minute. You can see even with that finger tight and the back rivet still in, I can still get that spacer under there. And the way I'm going to do that is just look down the hole until it's lined up. And can't tell with the light here, but I can see it with the flashlight if I need to. All right, that's a 30 millimeter 5/8 spacer. 2 washers, lock nut will be installed. Okay, so as you can see, everything's finger tight loose, and in place. These all are not tightened. So you just push this up how you want it to angle the fender once everything's in place, and that'll change your angle of your outer lip. I'm going to tighten these up first, and we'll see what we got. So what I decided to do on these 2 flaps that bolt through the bed, just left it natural on this wherever it wanted to stay, because if you push up on it, then this goes down and then it bends the existing fender lip, and I didn't really care for that. So that's what we got going there. It takes the shorty screws, the 20s, and anyway, everything's tight first. Did those last. Left them in the natural position. Drilled up high, get more meat on the plastic. That is more metal washer. You got more meat to grab a hold of, and it makes it a little stronger. Anyway, I think we're good to go now. Anyway, and you can see the finished result. Yeah, it looks kind of sporty and such. Basically better than it was. Now, we may do the fronts in a different day, but for now we're going to do this rear to only. And again, thanks for watching. Please feel free to comment. I like comments. Like and share is good. The most important thing is subscriptions, and I will only get credit once I reach a certain threshold of subscriptions. And that's all we got for today. Thanks for watching, and may God bless.